Hiya Mark, as promised, a quick sort of overview of the key points that we've covered so far. Top left here we have your original swing. You see the hands elevating very early in the piece, continuing to elevate during the backswing, very high hand position, right arm coming off the side. The hands then really just stay above plane, struggle to get back, never get back on plane, and now it's an exercise in tucking the hips and raising the butt of the club to keep the club on something like a decent line to hit from. So if we didn't have that dramatic raising of the butt end of the golf club, which is done through uncocking the wrists and extending, we'd be attacking this ball very steep and very much out to it. So that it's a very much an upward stroke back, an upward backswing, if you will. A little bit too much maintenance of the right knee flex for my liking, and certainly the arms lifting off the rib cage initially. We then looked at some good players. We've got Charlie Wee here as an example. We've been using Hunter Mahan over at the studio as a nice neutral model for you. You can see that the hands stay on the lower line for longer before elevating onto the upper line. Sometimes, depending on how far that left arm swings, the butt of the club will look like it's lifting above plane. That's just actually a little bit of an optical illusion, really. If the left arm didn't travel as far, the butt of the club would be really on plane. You can see though that there's no lifting of the arms off the torso. The right leg has straightened a little bit more, and the handle really is being swung to a point that's just behind the right shoulder, as opposed to sort of almost directly above it. And that was the first feeling for us here. We've got the glove under the right arm and we're trying to feel like we swing to a point that is behind the right shoulder. And you see straight away that the right leg started to sort of lose some flex, and also that the club now is in a much better position to come down the plane. The hands working down, just a little bit of a drop under. That's residual, much better delivery position, and all in all a much better shot pattern. We talked about where the ball struck the club face also having an effect. You become quite good at striking the ball out the heel, which unfortunately wasn't really giving you the shot pattern that you were looking for. A bit of an eye exit there, but nevertheless tidying up. So second session, this is what we came back with. We've got the pressure points under the right arm being maintained better, just a little bit across the line, not quite as good as we were seeing here with the glove under the arm, but at the end of the day this was no glove under the arm, seeing where you'd progressed to, and I think you'd agree that it's a much better position than what we're seeing on the top left of your screen. From there now, the hands were sort of, if you will, dropping a little bit too much under plane, right shoulder dropping back, club getting stuck underneath, and we were just pushing the ball. We talked last time, top left you were hitting a lot of push cuts, potential to pull it, pull hook it. Now we were just getting a straight push, which when you look at someone making that move from P4 at the top, right shoulder drops down. We showed you the images of Tiger versus Grant and the effects of getting back into flexion and what that can do for you. So really we just need to take that action and shift it to the left. So what we've done here is we've put the ball 2-3 balls forward maybe in the grid, trying to feel like the backswing's a little bit shorter. We'd expect to see this above plane at that point because we've shifted everything to the left. A little bit more laid off at the top, less of a drop under with that right shoulder. You can see the arms as the body flexes forward and as the plane shifts to the left, which is essential to hit the ball properly when it's moved forward in the stance. The arms are brought down in front of you more and the exit lowers. Hitting a lot of pulls when you're doing that drill. And then towards the end of your session, the feeling here, this is just a standard ball position, the feeling of a 3/4 backswing, much better position at the top than what you're experiencing on the top left. And then now the arms working down that plane line more, a little bit out in front of you at that point. We need to work on some hip slide to keep the arms in and keep the club in for longer but all in all, a much better position than that on which you started the second session. So first session was improving P4, and we've gone from the P4 that you see here on the top left to the P4 that you see here on the bottom right. I think you'd agree, a much better, much more compact, efficient looking position. And then session 2 was to go from this transition where we see the right shoulder dropping back rather than working down and around, club getting lost behind us. It was more of a sort of, I suppose, an education, if you will, a re-education of what pieces can we use to prevent the club getting out or getting stuck behind us. And we were using the flexing forward of the upper body, the path or the trajectory of the right shoulder, and how that affects the arms. And we were changing that by altering the ball position and the type of shot that we were trying to hit in practice, rather than trying to fiddle around with the arms during the downswing. As you can see there, a massive shift to the left in regards to the plane. Would you need to shift the plane that much to the left? Not really. It needs shifting a little bit. Somewhere in between those two images would be really, really desirable. But what I like about this on the bottom right is we've gone from hitting push cuts and pull hooks to a sort of straight push, to really, on that footage there, they were just really inline cut shots. You could certainly play golf around any golf course with that sort of shot pattern. So some food for thought there, just covering the key points. Remember what we said about Charlie Weiser hand path. The hand path of consistent ball strikers is working up the hand plane from P1 to P2.5 before elevating onto elbow plane P2.5 to P4, and then working straight down the elbow plane. That is the way to consistently strike the golf ball in relation to the path of the hands. Good luck with it. I look forward to seeing your swing progress over the coming months. Well done.